You don't need a title to be a leader. You don't need to sit in a corner office or have a team under you. Real leadership isn't about being in charge. It's about how you show up. It's the energy you bring into a room, the way you make people feel heard, valued, and inspired. Some people just have that magnetic presence that makes others want to follow. But here's the secret. It's not magic. It's a set of habits. Habits you can learn, build, and live by. Let's break down the 7 that truly make a difference. Listen like it's your superpower. Real leaders don't dominate the room. They don't interrupt. And they definitely don't pretend to listen while already thinking about what they'll say next. They listen deeply, fully, and with intention. Because people don't just want to be managed. They want to be understood. They want to feel like their voice matters. And when you offer that kind of presence, something powerful happens. People begin to trust you. They open up. They engage. They feel seen. And that kind of loyalty, it doesn't come from a title. It doesn't come from authority. It comes from human connection. From being the kind of leader who says, without a single word, "I'm here and I care." That's not just leadership, it's influence. And it starts by simply listening. Speak with fire, but never with flames. Great leaders don't yell. They don't confuse. They don't play mind games. Instead, they speak with clarity, with purpose, and with confidence. Their words don't just fill the air, they cut through the noise. Because when you're leading, every word counts. You're not just giving instructions, you're setting a tone. You're communicating a vision, a mission, a reason to care. And people can feel the difference between empty orders and words that carry intention. So, the next time you speak to your team, ask yourself, am I just talking or am I guiding? Because your voice can either build direction or cause destruction. And in leadership, that choice starts with you. Don't preach, but prove. Alk is cheap and your team knows it. They're not just listening to what you say, they're watching what you do. Are you the kind of leader who sits safely behind the desk, handing out orders from a distance? Or are you the one who rolls up your sleeves, steps into the chaos, and shows them how it's done? True leadership isn't about control, it's about responsibility. It means owning your actions, setting the tone, and doing the hard things first. Because nothing builds trust like consistency, and nothing earns respect like walking the talk. When your team sees that you don't just expect excellence, but you live it, they don't need to be pushed. They'll follow you because they want to. That's leadership by example. And it's more powerful than any command you'll ever give. Learn out loud. The best leaders are never finished. They're forever students. They don't pretend to know it all. They're not afraid to ask questions, to admit when they're unsure, or to say, "Let me learn more before I decide." Because true leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to keep growing. Great leaders don't just learn in silence, they learn out loud. They read, they reflect, they share insights with their team, and by doing that, they create a culture where curiosity isn't just allowed, it's expected. Because the moment you stop growing, your team does too. And leadership that doesn't evolve, it fades. So lead with your mind open, your ego quiet, and your hunger to learn fully alive. That's how leaders stay relevant. That's how they stay great. Make bold choices, but stay human. Great leaders know this truth. You will make decisions that not everyone agrees with, and that's okay. Because your job isn't to please everyone. Your job is to lead with principle. That means thinking clearly, listening carefully, and then choosing boldly. Not impulsively, but with intention, with heart. Yes, you'll be questioned. Yes, some will disagree. But if your decisions are grounded in values, not ego, people will feel that. They may not like every choice you make, but they'll respect the way you made it. And in the end, leadership isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about standing for what matters, even when it's hard. That's how trust is built. That's how real leaders rise. Build people, not dependencies. A weak leader wants followers. But a strong leader? They build more leaders. They don't micromanage. They don't hoard control. Instead, they create space for others to try, to fail, to lead. They mentor, they support, and they celebrate their team's success even louder than their own. Because true leadership isn't about staying on top, it's about lifting others up. When your people grow, you grow. When they rise, so does your impact. The goal was never control, it was always empowerment. Be the calm in their chaos. Anyone can lead when the sky is clear, when everything goes according to plan. But true leadership isn't tested in comfort, it's tested in crisis. When things fall apart, when people are stressed, scared, uncertain, your team doesn't need you to have all the answers. They need your presence, your calm, your steadiness. Because in the middle of chaos, the way you respond sets the emotional tone for everyone else. If you panic, they crumble. But if you breathe, think, and move with quiet confidence, they follow. Not because you're perfect, but because you're anchored. And that kind of leadership, that's the kind people remember forever. You don't need permission to lead. You don't need a perfect plan. What you need is the courage to show up every day with integrity, empathy, and a willingness to grow. That's the kind of leadership people talk about long after you've left the room. So, which of these habits do you want to start building today? Let us know in the comments. And remember, your leadership journey doesn't start someday, it starts now.